Hello to the two fans and welcome back. This is Chicago Ted coming to you with another replay cast. This one, wow, that's pretty interesting. We've got an error on the gyrocopter, first things first. Alright, but as is normal in the intro, thank you so much for sending this replay in. I hope you enjoy the show. This was a captain's mode game, so this draft had a lot of thought behind it, and I'll go through that really quickly. But for now, we have, for the Dire team, Super Fresh on the gyrocopter with Rain Time playing the Witch Doctor. God, I gotta slow down. YBRD is gonna be on that Nature's Prophet with Bullet Chops on the Spirit Breaker, and Peachmonger playing the Bloodseeker. Meanwhile, for the Radiant this time around, it's gonna be Cap on the Weaver with Mr. Cubbit on the Razor, Mr. Temchik. Awful lot of misters here. He's gonna be on the Shadow Shaman with Old Child on the Legion Commander, and last but not least, Wok is what that seems like. R.R. Wok is what it looks like in English. He's going to be on the Enchantress. Interesting drafts coming out for this game. The Radiant, I'm not totally seeing a whole lot of synergy from these guys. I mean, the Enchantress is a very good offlaner, and looks like she'll be running as a jungler, though, so she'll be able to accomplish a little bit as far as getting farm goes. I don't know if this offlane is really going to work out for them, though. I mean, you're splitting the experience two ways between the Shadow Shaman and the Legion Commander, which means that level 6 duel is going to take a while to get online, and you're dealing with a tri-lane this entire time. So, given that you've got the less experience income, plus you're going to be harassed away from the lane quite often, I'm not quite sure how much they're going to be able to accomplish, but we'll keep an eye on it. As also Weaver, he is solo laning, though he is up against YBRD, which a Weaver can tend to do a lot better in this lane because it's really hard to harass a Weaver with Triage. He can just slip away with a Scoochie, and he does a whole lot of damage, which Nature's Prophet tends to be a little squishier. All you gotta do is level up the Swarm, and even if he pops himself in a Sprout, he cannot get away from the Vision. So I think the only real lane I like here is the Razor in the mid should be able to accomplish a whole lot against the Gyrocopter. However, it seems like he's having a lot of trouble. And a lot of this, I think, can stem from the fact that he has gone for the Unstable Current, which is great if you're getting spammed by a rocket. But I really think he wants to get himself a static link just to get a little bit of extra damage to help him out. As we have a pause, I'm going to go ahead and skip past this. But yeah, so as far as the Dire goes, I love the synergy between their heroes. You've got a really good ganking potential. Bullet Chops needs to charge, and then you TP in with YBRD, and all of a sudden you've got a global presence that is really, really hard to go up against. And all of them are pretty aggressive heroes. I mean, Bloodseeker can be very aggressive. Also, getting the vision on low targets means going after them with someone like a Nature's Prophet, whether they use the Wrath of Nature or go in for something like a charge. They should be able to find kills, even when normal teams wouldn't be able to grab them. So, Peachmonger will take a little bit of damage from the tower, but all said and done, again, I think the Dire should be able to pull out a sizable advantage from this early game, judging by how the lanes are going so far. And from there on, we look to see whether or not RR can have as much of an effect in the jungle as possible, because he's going to need to do some heavy lifting for his team come next couple of minutes, as Super Fresh is going to chase down Mr. Cubbit. There is going to be an enchant, though, as the Golem going to help out. They aren't going to toss a boulder, though, which is a good amount of damage that they're just missing out on right now. He'll hold on to that. And even though Super Fresh will bottle up, pop himself out with a Fairy Fire, he should be all well and alive. They're going to TP in with YBRD, now go on to Mr. Cubbit. Super Fresh is in close by. They've got a lot of damage. They've also got the missile. Should be enough damage to come through. It will be. First blood going to Super Fresh. A level 1 missile at that, but still proving to be incredibly useful, as also YBRD rotating in that lane, as we said, just giving a large area of potential for this team to find kills that other teams may not have been able to. So even though we did have a rotation in from Wiak or RR or whatever I'm going to agree upon calling him here, it just was not able to have the same effect as it needs to have, say if it was a laner or whatnot. There's going to be a Charge of Darkness out onto Old Child, though. They come through with the Blood Ray. It's going to hit onto both Old Child and Mr. Temchik. If they just turn around and go into the trees, they bring down the Shadow Shaman. However, they want Old Child. They should get it with a Malefice. However, Peachmonger, just one more swipe. It is going to be enough from the tower to bring him down. Mr. Temchik is caught, though, behind the tier 1 or behind the trees, but they're not going to scout him out here. I think it's pretty worth it, though, for the Bloodseeker to get that kill, and Mr. Temchik not close enough to get the experience. No one got experience for that kill, and the gold split between everyone on the Radiant. So I think it's pretty worth it for that, but it's also worth it, even though this is not a direct result of that kill. Mr. Temchik is getting completely and utterly zoned out by his own demons, too. Like, he is back there because he initially chose to be back there. Now having to TP, it looks like he'll choose the bottom lane. As they rotate around their lanes, they move the Weaver up to the top and instead focus on this dual lane down bottom. But they're going to have their own problems with the Nature's Prophet. YBRD is going to go into Mr. Temchik and should get this one. Temchik is within 2 right clicks of going down. YBRD is not going to end up finishing it off, though, as he wants to run away. Not going to risk going underneath the tower. Will sprout and TP back. However, remember, the Blood Ray is out onto the Shadow Shaman. There is 45 seconds to TP in, though, so they're not going to be able to just quickly bring him down. No charge seems to be evident, so it looks like Mr. Temchik will get away alive here, but a more wasted time as he's still level 3, even though he had a sizably good start as far as experience goes. It's slowed down considerably. Though this Tri Lane still up on the top is going to hinder the Dire, I think, more than it hinders Cap, as you look at the experience difference in this lane. First of all, Cap is not having a hard time farming. Oh, actually, can they bring him down? They'll stun him with a Charge of Darkness, but the Scoochie will not end in enough time to get some damage off. So, as stated, this Tri Lane's hindering Dire more than it's hurting Cap, because Cap is getting all the experience he needs out of this lane. Already level 6, and he's also got one of the highest CS scores in the game as well. So he's pulling a lot of gold out of this too. Still, though, it's 1-2 at 6 minutes in. Super Fresh seems like he wants to be aggressive out onto Mr. Covet. We've seen it already before, but it looks like actually there's going to be a double damage on this Razor. We'll see what he can do with that. He's going to move to the trees. Peachmonger is dead here as one last right click will fly through, but Bullet Chops gets a bash. Can he get any more as a Blood Rage silence? But that's going to end Wrath of Nature from YBRD. Gets the kill. Meanwhile, Mr. Covet's going to go down into the mid lane, so 2 kills for the Dire already. And that was a global one from YBRD. 900 gold on top of this Urn of Shadows. Interesting build he's going for. However, if this is going to be a very aggressive game for them going in early, then it's certainly going to have a major impact as he rotates in for kills, securing kills he normally wouldn't get. Also being able to cancel blinks from someone like Old Child or Mr. Temchik, given Mr. Temchik is able to farm up a blink, which I have my doubts that he'll be able to do. So Old Child is getting relatively close to that level 6. Cap will make his way into the mid, trying to bring down Super Fresh, but he needs at least 3 more right clicks, which he will not get. So 2-4 at 7.5 minutes. Super Fresh having to go back to base with no ability to safely bottle runes, even though he probably could have with Rain Time, no Voodoo Restoration on that Witch Doctor to help out. So YBRD still farming pretty well in the bottom lane. Old Child having a lot of trouble getting his CS up there, but he will have the power trades completed. Temchik going to come forward with the Ether Shock now with the bonds, the shackles, but Old Child cannot get within range enough to cast that level 6 duel, and so he will have to back off, taking some odd harass from YBRD. There is going to be another Ether Shock to come through, dealing a sizable amount of damage to the creeps, or at least to the Treants, as they are they're getting a little bit of experience. They're still level 2. Creeps, whereas the melee creeps are level 3, so they don't give a whole lot, but there's a gank onto the mid lane or bottom lane as Rain Time will come through. YBRD gets the kill, though, and I don't think they're done. They're going to pop a salve onto Old Child, but Super Fresh is rotating into the bottom. The error in his items, he goes forward onto Old Child, will cast the missile, which looks like a cosmetic from the Tide, the underwater mine, but Old Child will get hit by that stun and get brought down shortly thereafter. as YBRD and Superfresh are close by to destroy the tower. Rain Time in as well. The Dire pulling away with a pretty sizable early game advantage. And it seems the Radiant, they come down bottom, look for a little bit of counterplay, but with 3 rotated in their own jungle, it doesn't seem like they're making any aggressive maneuvers into the Dire just yet. Hanging back and playing it safe. Meanwhile, top, Peachmonger dropping pretty low. Cap might just be able to bring him down here. Hasn't put any points in the Swarm, though, which is trouble. There is a level 6, another strike, but they're out of mana for it. However, oh, that's in a different lane. Cap is in a lot of trouble. The Blood Right Silence. He just needs one more right click, gets it off. Meanwhile, on the bottom, we've seen Rain Time already go down. YBRD might be short to follow going into the Sprout, but that's not going to help him against Mr. Cubbit as they're able to get a couple return kills for their own Weaver dropping. So Cubbit going to get a little bit of gold out of that one, but it's a Razor. He doesn't really get all that much. Old Child was not able to get a single duel off on that either, so even though the Radiant pulling a couple of kills, it just doesn't seem like they made the most out of it as they possibly could have. So the top lane will see some pressure. Already a tier 1 down on the Radiant side of the map. And RR Walk still having a bit of trouble being effective. There is still a walking courier. He comes through. It looks like a Dragon Lance will be his first item as Mr. Tenchik and Cap will move up to the top lane, but won't be aggressive just yet. There is a stack here, and they probably can take it with a couple of Ether Shocks and Scoochies through it. Meanwhile, mid, Mr. Cubbit's just going to go down within a Sprout. A gank from YBRD proving to be a little bit too much for the Razor as they get vengeance for their own lives, or at least for YBRD's life. Meanwhile, turnaround, Cap getting charged through, but the charge is on to Mr. Temchik. Do they have a Blood Right? They do not. They don't really have anything, as Belloc Chop's probably just going to get brought down. Peachmonger, he could be in a bit of trouble as well. Trapped into the creeps. Cap's going to chase him down as much as he can. Goes under the tower, but is not going to get the Scoochie damage off. Could have dived if he got it, and then used time lapse to get himself away, but it seems that he is not going to press it too much. Superfresh coming in from the back lines. But Cap and Mr. Temchik are already well enough away. He's going to pop out a missile, a level 1 missile still onto Mr. Temchik, so he's not going to be able to do all that much. That just gets brought down very quickly by Cap. So Superfresh pretty low, but he's got that bottle, or at least one of them. A Helm with a Dominator completed as well. His attack speed pretty minimal, but his damage very nice, about 100 plus, 110 going for him, 120, my bad. As they go in now onto this tier 1 top, and they should be able to bring it down. Now Peachmonger, oh, this is going to be the first Rupture, and this is for a Weaver. He'll time lapse out, but that does not get rid of the Rupture damage as they go through. Now Cubbit's coming in with the static link. YBRD's brought down. Cap still standing still. Now the Rupture does end, but they have vision of him. They just need a couple more right clicks. One last swipe is not going to be quite enough. Peachmonger still chasing, just needs to get him down. He will, but is not able to get any regen from him as he hasn't skilled up his Q. Now Belloc Chop's going to go in for Weok, but not going to be able to do any damage because, well, he's the untouchable is a little bit too much. They come through, though, with the Paralyzing Cask. Rain Time comes through again. Malefice is doing some damage, but Rain Time, one last tower hit, will come through. Even with the Magic Wand, is not able to survive. A 3 for 3 in the end. And finally, you know, the Enchantress making the impact that they drafted her to make. 12.5 minutes now. Wrath of Nature will come through, but not going to mean all that much. And Mr. Cubbit taking a page from Devo, saying, I'm going to whip it. As he TPs into the top tier 2 tower. YBRD is now on the bottom. They have the Blood Right, but it's not going to connect on the Old Child, who is still without a dual win. They have Rupture at the ready, so the Blood Right might have been a little bit over aggressive. If they can pop a Sprout, get some vision, looks like he's going to hold it to try to get a direct cast onto him, but it will not come through, so YBRD will have to back himself away. There is Cap here in the mid lane, though. Anyone with Dust doesn't seem like it. That's a sec. Oh, actually, no, we do have a Dust, and it is going to be on Bullet Chops. Have to be careful of the time lapse, though. It is on off cooldown. As, yeah, the missile's not going to hit. Bullet Chops. Looks like he's going to chase Cubbit, but they've got the enchant from Weok. They'll turn around now. But he should be able to get himself away. The impetus, that one hit proving to be a little bit too much damage for him to deal with. As Superfresh going to scout out Old Child, but still nothing really going to come out of that. This Legion has not seen all that much action this game, as YBRD is going to split push out the bottom lane. Weak's going to come in with the enchant, but all YBRD's got to do is sprout himself and then TP away, and he's got this. They have no way of getting in and getting vision unless they use the Swarm, which is still not leveled. YBRD is going to go for the runaway, though, and will pop in the Sprout. Meanwhile, Old Child finally getting something out of this. However, he will shortly be traded away. Bullet Drop's dropping pretty low, but won't die. Meanwhile, Razor, he goes down by the top rune. Okay, nice. I missed every single one of those. Amazing. Was that a dual win, though? It was. They do end up getting the dual win off, and I believe it was Rain Time, the one to give that away. So that is definitely a lot better of an engagement for the Radiant. However, they still lose 2, which is very, I guess, makes it more of a Pyrrhic victory than anything. Zwiak goes right back to the jungle to farm up. Now with a Staff of Wizardry, makes me believe that we're probably going to see him go straight into an Aghanims after the Dragon lands. Meanwhile, Cap, no real items out for him just yet. He goes for the Mithril Hammer first. Makes me believe we're going to be seeing a Desolator coming out first for this Weaver. Rain Time is going to be the Axe first build for him, as is standard. Peachmonger going to be going for what seems to be a Basher with Super Fresh, having finished the Yasha, probably a Sanjin Yasha build up from him. Bullock Chops with an Urn. That's what, the 3rd Urn on this team? No, who else had the Urn? Someone. I could have sworn someone else had the Urn. I guess it was Bullock Chops. I looked at him initially. Thought it was Super Fresh, but oh well. Who else we gotta look at? Mr. Temchik only has the Arcane Boots, nothing too much for him. Mr. Cubbit's also very, very poor. In fact, we can take a look at the net worth, and yeah, this mid-Razor's at the bottom of the net worth. That's a problem. That's a pretty big problem. Old Child, he's got himself the power treads, but nothing else. Really, 1,700 gold, though, and leads me to believe we're going to be seeing a Blink Dagger from him as the Basher gets completed. Now, Rain Time going to be taking a one-on-one date with Old Child, as they should be able to bring him down. Can he get denied by the creeps, though? No! So close, yet so far. Old Child might try to go in for these creep steals, but I don't know if they can stand up to this Ancient Stack just yet. They'll try to go for it. Takes a lot of damage from it. Not before being able to bring down 1 or 2 creeps, though. Uyaki just needs 1 impetus out, but won't be able to get it off with the full commitment. They are going to bring down this stack, but taking a lot of damage for it. In fact, Old Child, he might actually die to this. They have vision of him. They just need a Wrath of Nature. 77 seconds. Razor will die to this. Oh, man, YBRD. He's going to go in for the TP out onto Old Child. Turns. Needs 1 Sprout. Gets it off. 2 right clicks. 3 right clicks. Okay, 2 right clicks was all it needed, but YBRD now just TP out. Looks like he wants to run, though. Try to buy some time. Turns into Cap, who will go and Scoochie out of this one. Meanwhile, Temchik is ruptured. Can't run away. Gets brought down. Bloodright does miss, though. Turning onto Weok there. Needs 1 right click, but the untouchable, that just sucks to go up against. However, there is a Rocket Barrage. I can't see it or hear it, but I saw it. She melted in the middle of that Sprout. 3 for 1. Of course, technically it was a 4 for 1 as the Ancient brought down one of those kills, but it won't show in the kill score. Peachmonger now going in for the Roshan, but they have no flat regen or flat lifesteal, so Peachmonger is going to get very low to this Rosh. They need to pop something like a couple of Triumph, but he can't really get close to this Roshan unless they wait for the Slam. YBRD is going to tank it while the Urn of Shadows, the Bash comes out, but Rosh still has his target fixated on the Nature's Prophet. Looks like they got to switch the aggro right about now, but YBRD, oh, the aggro does switch. Do they have another Urn for YBRD? They do not. So, Long will come through. They're going in for Wrath of Nature. It does connect onto Mr. Cupboard, who pops in for the Eye of the Storm. Bullock Chops will take a little bit of damage from that, but not a whole lot. Rain Time, it's now your turn to tank the Roshan, but he tanks it for a lot less period of time than everyone else. Looks like they'll shift it back onto Peachmonger, though, as Mr. Cupboard turning for Bullock Chops. Might actually be able to bring him down underneath the Tier 1 tower. Temchik's in, perhaps a little bit too late. The Rosh goes down, and Cap will continue to chase, but Bullock Chops is out of there alive, though just barely, as it seemed like one last right click would have been enough. Everyone from the Dire relatively low. It's a good thing the Radiant doesn't have a Zeus. They've got some lightning, but not the right type of lightning. Actually, Peachmonger, he's got this Invis rune. Oh, boy. He has the, oh, we've actually got a Death Ward out. Covet! He's going to go down. And now Temchik could also be dead. They pop in for the Rupture. And Temchik's going to try to chase him down, but it's not really going to work. Pops out with the Death Wards, the Serpent Wards, rather. But those get quickly taken down by the Dire team. As we go in for the duel attempt through the trees, there is a Blood Right. Super Fresh will go down. However, Old Child could be in a bit of trouble. Impetus, 1, 2, 3. Rain Time could go in. No, they're going to switch aggro onto the Peachmonger, who will pop in. The Aegis of Mortality going to help him come back to life. Bullet Chops might still try to chase, but they got a Sprout now onto Weok. And with the Blood Right, connects onto the Enchantress. They do have a little bit of damage, but they got to get through this Untouchable first. They'll charge forward onto Bullet Chops. Now in with the Paralyzing Cask. It's bouncing between them all. But can they get anything done here? YBRD getting chased down by the Impetus, gets out with an Urn of Shadows. But will it be able to last long enough? Peachmonger losing a lot of damage here. Hex brought down. Comet, he's pretty low, but the Malefice does end. Old Child is not going to be able to bring down anyone really on the back lines. It's a 1 for 3, though. They still are able to get the Enchantress. However, nothing else will go down for the Radiant. Meanwhile, Dire losing a whole lot there. At about 20 minutes into the game. Now Weaver having a Desolator completed, but that's his only major item. So his regen is pretty abysmal. His damage is alright, but the minus armor and just the general sneakiness and evasiveness is good. Though I'm very surprised he hasn't gone for any points in the Swarm. And this really kind of irks me, because you're looking at a bunch of units, a free unit, doing an attack every 0.8 seconds when it's maxed out for 16 seconds. So we're looking at every, what? Every 4 seconds getting an extra attack? Is it? No, every 5 hits getting an extra attack. So, every 5 seconds getting an extra attack. So he gets, 16 attacks plus 3. 18 attacks off. Each attack is a minus armor, right? My god, I'm just kind of... I'm looking at the wrong spell anyway. YBRD getting dueled in the bottom lane will get brought down. But yeah, each attack is minus 1 armor. So minus 18 armor. That 20 damage is physical per attack. So that goes up each and every time. I mean, you're looking at a spell that can deal upwards of 500 or 600 damage, plus your auto attacks. It's crazy not to level this one up, but he's opting not to do it. A Blood Right will come through. It connects onto just Mr. Temchik, who will go down. Rain Time's in. They'll get the enchant onto Peachmonger, but it doesn't seem like they've got quite enough damage to bring him down. Rain Time with a Paralyzing Cask and then a Death Ward, and they're both taking so much damage from this. Rain Time will still drop. However, both of them will soon follow. Weok getting chased. There's nothing he can do, even with Untouchable. A triple kill for Peachmonger. Oh man, that Death Ward Paralyzing Cask combo was brutal, to say the least. So Bullet Chops will move in with Peachmonger, their newfound friendship, as they work together. Rain Time, the only one not part of this right now. Super Fresh will push in the mid lane. Only we'll see some pushback from Temchik, as we now have got a Basher completed from Old Child. They'll move in, get the duel out onto Super Fresh. They should have the damage for this with the Desolator. So they get another duel win out for Old Child, who now has 44 duel damage. However, Peachmonger comes in, Blood Right connects onto all 3. But I don't think they can adequately chase. It'll just give Peachmonger a little bit of extra damage and movement speed. Added that to the Empowering Haste, he's moving at 458. In fact, his Empowering Haste, yeah, it's a percentage base, so we could be seeing well over 522 MS on this Bloodseeker if he gets a couple of movement speed items like he will, with the Sanjin Yasha getting completed relatively soon. Looks like Covet and Old Child, they want to make a move onto Bullet Chops, but they will not be able to push further than this tier 1 tower. Instead, they just want to bring it down. A Glyph will prevent them from getting it for a couple of seconds, but this should be an inevitable takedown, and it will be. Old Child getting that tower last hit. A nice some gold for that. As a tower deny also coming out from Cap on the bottom lane. However, Dire are putting themselves in a position to maybe try to fight here. They're TPing in super fresh with a missile coming out. It seemed, no, that was just right clicks. I can't tell with the particle effects. There's just so many weird things going on with this gyrocopter right now. I mean, what is even going on here? We got an Enchantress. Weak in a bit of trouble. He's getting charged down, getting gangbanged in the middle of this. You've got the Nether Strike, and even though he's trying to run, goes to the Ancients, trying to deny it, but will actually get it off. Meanwhile, we've got Cap going down to the Nature's Prophet. There's going to be a duel, though. That gets off onto YBRD, but he's not able to get it in time as Old Child getting taken out very shortly thereafter. A bunch of illusions for Covet are only going to hurt him as the Paralyzing Cask will bounce. And even though he does get YBRD, he will go down to Super Fresh. 4 dead on the Radiant side. And Temchik on the run, but the charge coming through. He's trying to go out and trying to run away, but he can't do it. Pops himself in with some wards, but won't get a trap off. Instead, the wards should just drop to the Siege Creep is actually doing a pretty decent job of bringing him down. In fact, does it outrange? Yeah, it does. The Siege Creep. Oh man, I'll probably buy a couple Divine Rapiers after this. If only creeps could level up, right? Nope. The melee creeps will still remain level 3. The range creeps will still remain level 2 this entire time. And only giving up experience to that effect. It's going to be a Blood Right out, but it's not going to connect. Now Cap going to chase down Peachmonger. They also get an enchant, but the Paralyzing Cask Death Ward! Weak's going to go down. The Death Ward's going to switch targets over to Old Child, who is getting Nether Strike and Bash, and gets brought down. A full duration Death Ward. Rain time will drop for this, but the damage has been done. A Sprout is out. Temchik in a bit of trouble. Peachmonger with some bonus damage and move speed. 636 movement speed. I mean, what do you even say about this guy? He's moving so damn fast. There's also going to be the Razor going down, so he loses a good chunk of that movement speed. That Cat moving in, trying to bring down Peachmonger, but it's not really working out for him. Peachmonger's a little bit too tanky. As they're not going to chase him down. They really can't chase him down. Maybe they can. As he's going to time lapse out of that. Pretty low, actually. If they had a Blood Right, they pop it out. He actually will just straight up die there. Kind of an interesting maneuver from him. 26 minutes, though, and the Dire are already threatening the high ground. It's going to be an Aghanim Scepter pickup from Rain Time. Pretty expected with the last couple of Death Wards he's gotten off. Definitely the best Death Wards of his life. 4-7, not even sure what that means. Is he flaming his team? He is indeed flaming his team. 4-7, 5-10. Nice. Thank you for bringing that up, my dear co-caster Weaver. Of course, it is fitting that he's the only one dead when he's flaming. I mean, why not, right? Got YBRD now pushing out the top lane, trying to split push here. Looks like he's going to go for that Necronomicon build, which is pretty common for him. Weak's going to move forward. They blink forward, trying to get a duel out onto YBRD, but Old Child is going to be just a half second too late. However, Super Fresh could be the trouble here as Mr. Covet, he drops very quickly. Though the Impetus strikes are dealing a nice amount of damage. Rain Time out with a Death Ward is hitting for a sizable amount of HP. However, the bounces do hit immediately on the Old Child, but they won't last all that long. Now a duel on the YBRD. He is down and out. Old Child getting hunt by the Paralyzing Cask, though. Both him and Weak will go down as Cap trying to chase, but the Rupture is destroying this Weaver. He'll time-lapse out, but the last hit from Peachmonger. And Bullock Chops will also bring down Mr. Temchik. It's a 5-man wipe at 27 minutes. And they can once again try to push the high ground. Cap is definitely not happy about this one. But, hey, what can you do about a Weaver? Trying to weave out of the blame, I think. Never give up, I think. Either way, they'll push up to the high ground, bring down a tier 3 tower. Shouldn't get the racks here, but we'll definitely get close. And they'll try. Meanwhile, Covet move in. With the Eye of the Storm on the Peachmanga. Yeah, he might be dead. Brain time, do you have a death ward? Only in 11 seconds. Covet dropping so low. The Wrath of Nature. One last hit from the Malefice. That's going to be enough. They're going in for the range tracks, though. Peachmanga goes out with a Rupture onto Weok. Gets dueled, though. There is no minus armor, so they can't quite do anything here. There is going to be a death ward, though. And the bounces. Brings down 2 during the duration. A triple kill. He gets 3, actually. As Peachmanga now with a lot of movement speed and damage. He is ready to turn around if he wants to. Super Fresh is in close by, though. And might be able to go up top and finish off what they started. However, he just wants to go in for this tier 3 mid. Brings this one down. 2 exposed sets of racks. YBRD will move in with a couple of Necronomicons and summons, and he should be able to finish off this top racks. Peachmanga goes into the bottom with a BKB soon to be completed. And still, level 2 Swarm. I mean, he could have it leveled up, but he's got to have, what, 2 points in stats right now? 3 points in stats. I don't think I agree with this at all, but whatever the case, the units will go out on the melee barracks first. Then they switch targets to the correct barracks, so they should be able to bring it down. Meanwhile, Cap taking so much damage. It's a free Dagon right there, but the ranged barracks top go down. The mid barracks are exposed, and the bottom barracks, or at least in tier 3, has taken some damage. Peachmanga goes in, Blood right out. They want to bring down Cap. The Blood right connects. He sees him. And pop, pop, pop goes the Weasel. Peachmanga now on the run, taking a bit of damage. Will go in for a TP. No stuns to stop him. So he is out. Ready to go. Meanwhile, YBRD is going for some split push onto the bottom lane. There's going to be a TP from Temchik, though, to stop this one, or at least slow it down. And it will successfully stop it. Meanwhile, the Dire are going in for a Roshan attempt, as Gyrocopter with an MKB and a Crystallis completed. His net worth is looking really, really good right now. It's just so weird to see, but he is doing damage. It looks like he's just kind of staring at him. If there even is a he, I mean, there's nothing there. It's just a mask. That's just creepy. I don't know what, there are many words to describe that, but creepy is one of the big ones. Rupture now onto Covet. As the charge comes through, the push should be enough to bring him down, but Peachmanga wants the kill. He gets the kill. Old Child on the run. He's got a Blink Dagger in 2 seconds, and he's not blinking. There he goes. Peachmanga will still chase, though. That BKB, I guess he's going to stop chasing. Super Fresh and Temchik are now moving into the bottom lane. Couple of creeps there are out with an enchant, but Super Fresh is just going to chase him straight on down. The Death Ward's out. The bounces are real, and Cap cannot survive at all. Weok Bull also going to go down. Cap's buying back. The damage. It's just so much damage. Old Child now getting caught, and YBRD's there as well. He goes in for the value CS, but he can't run. He can't hide. He's just getting taken down. He actually is able to get through the trees, but he is still dead. Super Fresh brings down the tier 3 bottom, and the racks soon to follow. There are going to be a couple of Serpent Wars drop, though, which should protect this for a short amount of time, but no real follow-up. As the Dire's all alive, ready to push, ready to be aggressive. Hyperstone now done on Peachmanga. Assault Cuirass soon to finish. Some strange pauses, but Peachmanga will now go in to try to finish what he started in the top. Okay. We're back. Peachmanga is still on the run here, but the impetuses aren't really going to do more than tickle him a little bit as the mid-rack's dropping pretty low. Rupture on the Cap means he can't really take part in this fight. Half of Weaver's strength is being able to just scoochie around. Super Fresh will get a kill. The push from the charge is actually going to deal more damage to Cap than he thought with the Rupture. Peachmanga's now on the run. Doesn't have an Aegis or anything, but he still has plenty of armor. He's going to get away from this. The Swarm coming through, but a little bit late. They're still trying to scoochie up forward. Cap might be able to do this, but Peachmanga's moving at 520 or 558, but the impetus comes through. Super Fresh still doing some damage. Actually, his bullet chops in for the mid lane. Isn't going to survive this duel. He goes down 76 damage. But the top racks taking some damage. The bottom racks have been exposed. So the Dire are still just kind of split pushing this one out. Super Fresh still alive. and ready to fight if he wants to. Rain Time also now with a Glimmer Cape completed. And do we have any sort of Assault Cuirass? No, we don't. We're actually going for an Agile YBRD. The Assault Cuirass has not yet been completed on Peachmonger, so the Death Ward will only do face value damage, reduced by armor already as it stands. But once the Assault Cuirass is completed, Death Ward, I mean, it's like the 4th level in Death Ward when you get an Assault Cuirass. 5th level if you have an Elder Titan. Actually, having an Elder Titan's a lot of fun with Witch Doctor. It's like the perfect setup for a Death Ward, getting into sleep. If you have a follow-up stun, then drop the Death Ward, and boom, everyone's dead. But we'll move forward now. Looks like Rain Time wants to find these two. We'll get the Paralyzing Cask out. It bounces between the two. And speaking of bounces, the Death Ward's out. And both of them will die to it. Rain Time with a killing spree off this. Yeah, it's something you don't want on your Witch Doctor. 15 and 8. I mean, he's almost the exact opposite in kill score as Razor, who is 5 and 15. If Razor had 3 more kills, they'd be direct opposites, but he doesn't. So it's looking like this might be it for the Radiant. The Dire pushing up onto the high ground, or at least through the bottom lane. They want to bring down this second set of racks. The top, still the melee racks stand. As we are going to go in, try to do a little bit of damage to Super Fresh, but they're still just focusing down the barracks. 35 seconds for a Death Ward. They don't really care. They're just manning up against it. Second to last set of racks go down. The third to last set very soon thereafter should fall. Cap, yeah, he is dead. No buyback, 83 seconds. YBRD now, they trap in Weok. Can they bring him down? He's taking a whole lot of damage from his impetuses. He will drop, has buyback if he wants to spend it, but the Mega Creeps have spawned. The Paralyzing Cask doing a whole lot of damage. And that is actually Witch Doctor with an Aegis, comes back to life. Triple kill. 35 and a half minutes in. 3 are dead on the Radiant. Make that 4 as it's a buyback from Weok. Yeah, he is dead now for 81 seconds. Ultra kill for Peachmonger. Are they going to go for the Rampage? Old Child is going to give it. They come in with a Death Ward, doing a little bit of damage. Come on, come on, you can do it, Peachmonger. Just go for it. All right, he's not going to go for it. The tier 4s are going to drop. The Ancient is also going to fall. Old Child going to go in for a duel, gets the win. But he might pay for this with his life. Actually, he should live through it. I think the Ancient will fall before he does. Actually, Peachmonger is going to fall before the Ancient does. Either way, well played to the Dire. The Radiant not quite showing up to this one. I don't know what more to say. I mean, I think the draft was pretty much where this game was won. A great draft from the Dire team. Had all of its bases covered. A good early game amount of aggression. A constant ability to move around and take ganks. Win every single engagement by having the numbers advantage with the Charge of Darkness and the Global Teleport. So, once again, very well played to the Dire. And thank you so much to the person who sent in this replay. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to be like him and be forever immortalized in a Dota cast, you can go ahead and shoot me an email. It's $10 per request, live or recorded. You just got to specify that, and I'll do it. Guys, once again, thank you so much for watching. Like, favorite, subscribe. Whatever the case, I'll catch you all for the next replay.